Hi all, thank you for joining back. So in this tutorial we will talk about the EC2 as we discussed earlier. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud. So you consider EC2 as a server. Okay, whenever you are building any like cloud, what we need a cloud. First of all, anybody think of cloud, they want, like, I need the window machines, I need my servers, right, for data centers and all. So they are looking for the same kind of thing in the cloud as well. So you need to create a server. So the server name, they nomenclate it as a EC2 Elastic Compute Cloud. Okay, so you need to remember this. So Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud provides scalable computing capacity in the web services cloud. So basically any servers is a computing capacity. Computing means you have a CPU, RAM, memory, things like that, right, to run your services. So that you can build on the cloud with the EC2 instances. Okay, you do not need to buy any physical servers. Obviously you are on the cloud, you don't worry about your physical hardwares, right? So you just need to go there, select your servers capacity, and you are ready to install it up it right now. So that is so simple, so easy. That's why they created within a minute you can build any servers. Okay, so what does EC2 features further? It goes EC2, it is a virtual computing environment, okay, known as instances. So basically whenever we call it a EC2 is a server or a instances, right? So in technical term, whenever we talk about EC2, they said how many EC2 instances you have built. So you require, say that I built 5 or I need 4 instances, right? So that is the terminology it is used in a technology of a cloud, right? So you can build your instances in a Amazon cloud, right, like that. And various configuration of CPU. So you have, like, whenever you build any server, right, what do you think in your mind? Okay, this is your processing speed, this much of CPU I need, this much of memory I need, this much of storage I need, right? Network capacity should be this much of NIC card should be there, right? Things like that. So those all things which build and give you a EC2, and these are all known as the instance types. So basically when you create your EC2, you say that I have created one instance, like that. So don't get confused much on the EC2 and instance. They can be used vice versa. Either you say EC2 instances or EC2 or instances, like that. Okay, so that is more or less the same things. Template for instances means it is an Amazon machine image. So what happens is, suppose you build your one of the servers. Okay, you have installed Windows 2016, right? You have installed one of your application in that, right? You did all your tweaking, everything, right, as you need. You install antivirus. Now you have to do this on 50 more machines, same thing. So you have to do all your stuff again and again, right? Install it, configure it as per your need, right? So what you can do is you can build your machine image and push it to the wall. So I'll just explain you next slide more on this. So consider this template is available, which you can leverage. Even market ready templates is also available, which you can use. For example, Linux template is there, Windows Server templates are there. So these are called the Amazon machine image, right? Next is the storage volume. So that is the volume that you can attach to the EC2, which we discussed just now in the previous class, right? So storage volume like SSD, STD volumes, which you can attach it, right? And there are some kind of volume which whenever you stop that, for example, you shut down your servers, right? So whatever data in that volume, right, that will be lost along with the server the moment you stop the server. So that kind of storage volume which get lost or terminate as you terminate your instance is known as the instance store volume. Okay, just keep it in mind, instance store volume. Okay, so that is volume because instantly it vanish the moment you shut down or terminate your data. Okay, so that is the instant store volume. So whenever you select it, Amazon gives you an option that you want this volume or not. Why we need such volume where we shut down and lost if we are on it? Sometimes it's very cheap, right? So that's why we don't bother about data lost, some lab work or some other works, right? So people use this kind of volume. Okay, it saves money. Next is the persistent storage volume. So your data using Amazon. So EBS, obviously that is the most latest volume, block storage. that is persistent, so data will not lost even you shut down your machine. So that is a Amazon EBS volume which you can attach to the EC2 servers. Okay. And multiple physical locations of your resources. Yes, instances and EBS volumes, they can be available across your region, across your availability zones. So that's the purpose of availability zone region, right? You want redundancy, resiliency, but you need to set it up as per your requirement. It's not like you build your server in one region, you're expecting it to available in another region. No, you need to take care of that. So options are available, but you need to configure it as per your need. So that's the demarcation Amazon always gives you. Okay, build your resiliency as per your requirement. Okay. So let me give a picture what exactly we are talking about here. We are talking about EC2, right? Previous sector we are talking about S3. So EBS. So don't get confused. I just wanted to give you a broad picture what we are trying to achieve here. So for example, there is office per here where there are users. They do not have any servers here. So what they will, you will create a servers in the cloud. So this is your AWS cloud. Inside that, first you select a region, right? Inside the region you select availability zones, and VPC is your network, right? Your LAN network in your office and corporate, right? Same like that, because even you configure your EC2, obviously you will assign IP address and all, right? So that is a VPC, virtual private cloud. I'll come to this in the next lecture after this. Okay, so consider this. So hierarchy is cloud. First we go into the cloud, we choose our region, choose our availability zone, and in that we create our EC2 instances. EC2 is Elastic Compute Cloud, which is an instance, which is a server, exactly what you're building, right? So you can multiple server you can build in one availability zone. Similarly, you can build multiple server in another availability zone, and using the internet gateway which is attached to the cloud, you can access it. So that's the whole picture I'm trying to give you. Is this is the way you can think of why we are talking about EC2, what is the purpose, right? So how it is inside this cloud. So inside this cloud, this is what you need to access a server with the AWS cloud, a region, availability zone, and EC2. This is how you can access it. Okay, so let's go further on the EC2 now. EC2 instances and AMI. So I told you AMI is what? Amazon Machine Image, right? It's a template. For example, you need a template for 2008 server, right? So then whatever you do, you go to the, normally whenever you buy a blank server or laptop, right, you have to install the OS in that, right? But Amazon gives you option that you choose that AMI while building a server, like 2008 AMI, 2016 AMI, Linux AMI, Ubuntu AMI, right? So all these AMI image is available. You just select it and attach it while building a EC2 instances. Okay, so that's so simple. You no need to go and install it. Okay, so AMI can be pushed to one instances while building, or AMI can be pushed to the multiple instances also. Okay, if you are building in a bulk. So it's very easy and simple to configure. EC2 Root Device, EC2 store backed instances, right? So basically instances that uses stores for the root devices automatically has instance store volume attached. So I told you, right, instance store volume, the volume which loses its data as we shut down the server. So that is the instance store backup device. So whenever we create EC2, the root device, right, root device means the device, the drive which attached to the EC2 server, the hard disk, right, used for the root. Root means installing the operating system, right? So my OS is installed, that is a root device. Okay, so if it is an instant store backed, right, the hard disk type is an instant store, then it will lost after we shut down it, right? So when instance is launched, boot image is copied to the instance store, root volume is used. Any data which is in this volume is persist as long as the instance is running. The moment we shut down this, if the root, whatever data is there in that root content, that will be lost. Second is EBS backed instance. So obviously EBS backed instances, if we attach EBS volume as a root device where we install our operating system, so whatever data is there, it will remain as it is till the time EBS is attached. Even though you shut down the server, if you rebuild on it, right, I mean, so turn it on again, so you will not see your data is lost in that. So that's the whole purpose of having the EBS volume. Okay, and instance that uses EBS for the root devices automatically have an EBS volume attached, obviously, right? So if we, while building EC2, we choose EBS as a hard disk, so it will use EBS root volume space to build the root drive for operating system. Okay, so there are two broadly, don't get confused, there are two broadly things: instant store and EBS backed. Instant store is if you shut down the server, data will be lost. EBS backed, if even though you shut down the data server, the data will not be lost, because EBS the storage will be still there, right? I will show you when we go to practical how to see that. Okay, and EBS backed instances can be stopped, later restarted without affecting data. That's what we discussed just now. Okay, next we talked about the EC2 instance type. So basically EC2 has a different instance type when you select that instances, because EC2 is what, whenever you go and purchase a server, right, Dell servers or any other servers, right, you see what is their CPU capacity, right, things like that. They are threading things, right? So if you go deep into that, right, and how what is the memory, right? So based on that, EC2 also the hardware basically I'm talking about, right? So you select that instance type category. So here also there are many different kind. One is the general purpose instances, which has provide you balance of compute, memory and network resources capacity. So different kind name is A1 instances, M5, M5A instances, T2, T3A instances. Okay, we'll show you in the portal as well after this. Okay, so this you can, one is general purpose, second is the compute optimized. So if you want more high performance computing performance, then you can choose the type as a C5 and instances. So basically the name is start with C5. You can see that while choosing the instances, okay, while building it. And next is the memory optimized. If you want that my server should have memory optimized or memory should be very high or efficient, right? So you can go for R5 series instances or X1 instances, things like that. And then if you want a storage optimized, then you go for a D2 or H1 instances. So the moment you select the instances, the hardware, these are the options: general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized and storage optimized. Okay, so general purpose is A1, M5, T2 series. Compute is C stand for compute, so C5, C5N. Memory is R for memory, R5 usually you can remember like that. And then the storage obviously D2 and H1. Okay, so just keep in mind, because these questions will come if you go for any kind of Amazon certification, right? Yeah. Next is EC2 pricing. So everything cost about pricing. Yes, cloud is pay as you go service. So on demand instances, suppose you need instances, right, for using, so you, the moment you buy it or turn it on, it will start, you know, costing you by second basis. So they call it on demand instances. Reserve instances, if you want instances for 1 to 3 years long term, right, so you can reserve those instances as well. So they call it a reserve instance. It will be a little bit cheaper for you if you reserve it for longer terms, right? Spot instances, suppose you need to request instances immediately, right? And any free instances, right? So basically you can bid for the instances. So you say if the instance costing per second or per minute value, it is less than $0.5, then my instance will be turned on automatically, otherwise not, right? So you can configure something like that as well, right, based on your server load capacity, right? So you can build this spot instance and buy it, the free instances which is available in the cloud. It will be ready for you.